Alrighty, we have finals of the Dominion League between Neqativ and Hakha, joined by drsteelhammer.
Hey, Jane Hales.
So these two players were tied with each other during the regular season, but Hakha leads by 1 point, which means that if it's 3-3 in this match, match goes to Hakha. But all Neqativ needs is 3.5 out of 6 or better, and then they'll take home the crown for season 61.
61, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes. Are there rules for Neqativ? Win 3.5 games, play 6 anyway, I think. Yeah, that should be covered. Both have been champion before, at least that's what I've read, so also not should be the first champion match in that case, but I think Hakha got narrowly beaten in the last championship match for the previous season. But yeah, in the seasons before, they each won once.
So one person will be a 2-time victor at the end of this.
Yes. Probably only the fourth or fifth person to do so. Maybe a few more. I don't think that many, even though it is season 61. And we have a board now.
A very small, very orange board.
This is indeed orange.
Oh.
Do you see actions?
Guildmaster for Band of Nomads can give plus action, but you have to gain stuff off.
Yeah.
So like you play one Guildmaster, you sculpt a bunch of silvers, you'd get effectively a villager effect every time. I don't know if that's worth it, but you could make that into a village.
Oh yeah, that's tricky, but we could see it, right?
Yeah.
Then you could even magnate draw with all the silvers you gained.
Hey, there's not really much thinning aside from just getting lucky with Flame's Gift Off Tracker or pulling Goat from Search or Cutthroat.
Yeah, that's enough.
I think that hurts
it's kind of difficult.
Like I was considering double Tactician. That feels awkward when you got all 10 starting cards in your deck.
And yeah, possibly treasure payload with loot.
Yeah. I mean, the Tacticians could set up Magnate draw. Like your first Magnate probably draws you like 5 cards. But then all the Magnates are terminal, which means you have to sculpt more silvers to pay that off.
Yes, I would expect a little simpler strategy to be played here than the truly crazy engine you could play here.
Yeah.
But I would love to see it.
Staff, as chat pointed out, would be a phenomenal loot to get here. How do I view the loots? So Staff is plus action, so just on the face of it, that's great. It's also a card that lets you play actions in the buy phase, and so that one big hurdle to double Tactician. If you get Staff, you could play the Tactician with Staff after playing all your treasures, and you don't have to forego all of the 20 money each turn.
Do you need 2 staffs, or is one enough?
One is enough. It doesn't stay out.
One is enough. Okay, yeah, so...
Yeah, only cards that play something an additional time stay out, like Throne Room and Mastermind and such. Staff just plays it the once.
See. Yeah. Also, quick correction, Ellaby pointed out that there have been 8 2-time champions so far, and this will be the 9th. Yeah, so Citygate on a 3-4. Okay, could be a 5 open here.
Citygate makes some sense to me. The things that cost less than 5, I don't know, don't look that exciting.
That great.
Yeah, so Citygate, you've got a 60% chance to hit 5 turn 2 if you draw a copper off the top. Which we're in the 40% line. But this still guarantees 5 by turn 3 if you buy a silver or a silver equivalent, I think. I don't recall exactly if it works with Monument.
Yeah, I think the opening is the search.
Fine. Let me think about this.
Interestingly.
So if you
what pile
put in
are we
estate,
expecting to?
So I was trying to consider the Citygate line.
So.
If you put an estate back here and buy a Monument, Then next turn you'll trigger a shuffle, and you'll have 6 cards on top, and you can line up Monument and at least 3 coppers, and guarantee you've got a 5 on turn 3. Curiously, Hakha goes for the silver. Maybe that's better. I'm not sure.
So this is a 5 now with Sculptor. Okay, 2 tide pools for Neqativ and the Surge. What pile do you expect to run here?
That's a good question. Sometimes it's just the
Maybe
search pile if you work hard enough.
Yeah, that sounds like work on this kingdom.
I mean, it might not even be that you want the. I mean, I'd be happy to get loots just on the chance they get staff or orb or something. But you might be getting the search just to spike 5 and then get the card out of your deck, depending on what your strategy is. Having a bunch of silvers in your deck long term might not be the best.
Yeah, true. So we do see the Guildmaster for Hakha with the Sculptor first. So that could be.
So Hakha has some great.
I'm seeing some engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some ambitions.
We'll see if it pays off.
Can we trick the tide pools somehow here? Not really, right?
So imagine you played 10 tide pools and a tactician. You could resolve all 10 tide pool discards and then the tactician play, and then have a starting hand of 5 cards. Like, that'd be an example.
Yeah, that's actually a fun one. Play double tactician just to have a normal hand.
Yeah, exactly.
That does fix the problem of draw being terminal.
How much draw are you getting out of that, really? Like, supposing you just got all 10 tide pools uncontested, you're only playing half of those each turn. So, you've got, that's still 5 double labs. So you just have to get 10 tide pools and 2 tacticians and not play any treasures to get the equivalent of 10 labs in your deck.
Or Outpost to just play 1 normal turn and then pass once.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, just put all the tide pools in your deck, play an Outpost. The tricky problem with this, as I recall, is tide pools as your main draw, even when you have a way to negate the discard, is still really awkward. Because, let's say you draw through your deck on your normal turn, you play an Outpost. On your Outpost turn, you reshuffle your deck, you draw 3 cards, then the tide pools get discarded. Now they're all in your discard, and you've got a deck of all your non-tide pools. And so it doesn't even really work the way you want it to, because your next shuffle is going to have no tide pools in it.
You have to top deck 3 cards to mitigate that.
Yeah, somehow top deck, or 4 now that you got a City Gate, because that'll trigger a shuffle.
True.
Just top deck 4 cards and then just have a dud turn.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Only 2 top deck cards, unfortunately. But Neqativ has.
So do you demand something here just to avoid the? I don't think so. The 5s are too important.
I mean, I could demand a tide pool.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you wanted a tide pools anyway. I really don't know what the strategies are. This is a confusing kingdom. We'll see.
But anticipating the tide pools running with a search buy, that's also an interesting line. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed both players going for that. But it seems like they are. I'm happy to see it. Hakha has 3 favors now with Guildmaster, so does have some terminal space. As long as it is a sculptor. Yeah, and a villager, of course, yeah. Both do have that. Question is how many silvers do they want with the sculptor gains?
Right.
Yeah. But maybe all of them. So yeah, this is a tough decision for Neqativ. What are the alternatives to demand? Could get a Guildmaster themselves.
Yeah, I think it depends on what they're trying to do here, and I honestly do not know the answer to that. All right, the other is demand and tide pools.
Oh,
I presume
demand line.
They just discard whatever here and don't even try to have it.
Oh wait, oh yeah, it worked. It even works with the City Gate. Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is a great Kingdom for Championship match. Is that a second Magnate?
Exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
This does feel like a finicky Village Kingdom. I don't understand the silver there. Is silver better than nothing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
It didn't net them a villager. They had to use a villager to do it. So they're taking a
Yeah.
free silver, but they 8 doesn't look much better than 6 to me. Maybe they're trying to go for double tide pools here. I don't know.
Double tide pool, or 5 and another silver. Yeah, it has finicky everything, pretty much, right? I guess payload is a little straightforward, but
trashing is hard. Plus buy is not that easy.
2 unfortunate turns now for Hakha.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if they're unfortunate or just what the deck is, pretty much. I think they are
too predictably
not that many
unfortunate
tide
turns.
pools. Yeah. Still there's no outpost, but a bunch of magnets. So demands a search. Wow.
That would make me really want to take 2 tide pools just to spite them.
Yeah, absolutely right. Even just because they're good in the deck. Just building.
I'm kind of anticipating that happens actually here.
Yeah. But then we're going for the silver pile, and the search will trigger eventually.
I think you can... Oh no, they both have City Gate. Maybe you don't play the second tide pools? So now they have exactly 3 cards on top. Okay, now they have exactly 0 cards on top. I'm a little bit confused why they did that.
Drew 2 tide pools and a copper.
Yeah, the trouble is to avoid the awkward reshuffle, you have to leave 4 cards on your deck. 3 for the outpost plus 1 for the City Gate. And what they could have done pretty easily was... They could have stopped with 6 cards left. They could have played the tide pools and then demanded tide pools, and they'd have 5 on top. This...
Does double demand fix it?
Yeah, so they can double demand the tide pools, and that works out fine.
Then this is what we shall do, right? Yeah. Endless Chalice.
Is that a good loot here? I mean, you can't not draw it.
Yeah. Probably worst Kingdoms for it. So it seems Neqativ is now quite in the lead, I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely take Neqativ's position here.
I mean, we're hoping that the tide pools miss the shuffle eventually, right after the outpost turn. That the setup doesn't work a turn, and then Neqativ's deck falls apart. I think that's the way Hakha wins. But I don't know what the optimal buys are for that to happen. There's no monument is alt VP, not great here, so
yeah, I can't see
desperation
a
green
that plays enough monuments to matter.
Yeah. So if Hakha just goes for provinces, then it's pretty much all the VP. But I don't know if this deck is capable of doing anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think... Like, if Hakha starts greening here, I don't think that they've got much of a chance of outpacing Neqativ's deck. I don't really know what you do.
I mean, Neqativ's deck has to fall apart, right? Otherwise, there's just no way.
Do you take a cutthroat now and try to get a really lucky loot? Unclear.
What would be a lucky loot
I
for
think
this deck?
luckiest loot in my mind would be Staff by a large margin. You get that, then you could just put some Tacticians and some Magnates in your deck, and all of a sudden that deck would function really well.
I see. So, yeah, that's a vision for a couple turns in the future.
The trouble is, like, even getting the Staff, like, you gotta get the Cutthroat, draw these next 10 cards, play the Cutthroat, buy a gold, which is a pretty big downside, and then pray the 115 odds that you pull the Staff out of there.
And then get 2 Tacticians after.
Right. There's a lot of steps in this process.
So Staff Bailout is our best guess for
I'm not sure where
how to move on.
I wonder if it's more efficient to just like demand a bunch of searches and try to empty that pile,
or we just empty a pile.
Yeah. But then if you empty the searches, now 2 piles are low.
Oh. Get 9 loot.
Silly Potter wanted a province. Keep things simple.
Okay.
Yeah, so the city gate is actively kind of a nuisance here. This would be a perfectly fine place to stop for Neqativ, except
see what Hakha thinks about the setting up the tide pool. So it's the top deck thing.
So my guess, just based on what Hakha was gaining there, is they're going to try to build the Magnate deck without any of the Tactician support. And, I mean, they probably got enough treasures that maybe that's fine, and you don't need any of the loot plus Tacticians to line it up.
Yeah.
That could become quite a problem if your opponent discard attacks you, for example. Like, I think if Neqativ clues into Hakha just playing Magnate without Tactician, a Cutthroat could be kind of nasty.
True. So this is now there are 5 tide pools in the discard because only 3 cards were top decked. But it still means there are 4 tide pools in this shuffle, I think. So maybe it's not even that bad if you just play half of them.
Yeah, so they have enough tide pools for this to not be a huge problem. Like, that'll draw you most of your deck. But the Outpost is also in the discard now, which seems like a bigger problem to me.
Oh, true. It is a big problem, and we see Hakha's deck coming together.
Yeah.
He's kind of.
Yeah, I feel like this must have been a misplay by Neqativ on turn 10 to let their tide pools miss the shuffle like that.
Yeah. We will see how much it hurts now. Maybe it results in a skip turn if we don't get to Outpost. And Hakha.
Yeah, it's like this turn for Neqativ
Once 3 buys here,
with just the 4 tide pools.
The next one.
The following turn is going to be the doozy.
Yeah. So 2 provinces. Interesting that we got a buy here from the sculptor again. So yeah, the favors do quite a bit of work here for Hakha, and it is one thing Neqativ doesn't have access to yet.
Yeah, interesting.
True, rectified soon, but
for using the favors, like Guildmaster is going to generate you basically unlimited favors. The constraint is just how many 3-cost cards, 3 or higher cost cards can you gain to actually activate the favors.
Yeah, it's basically Sculptress, right?
Yeah.
And the buys, of course, later. But so we
Good.
saw Tactician for a brief second. It's gone back to its origin now.
Yeah, that didn't last. No, Hakha did play tide pools, it looks like, to start this turn. So
yeah,
they could be in some trouble in the following turn. Like, The Magnate deck is very much feast or famine sort of thing, where you have to have a Magnate plus a bunch of treasures, and then if that lines up, then you have a big hand, and your next Magnate lines up, and so on.
Yeah.
And so, like I was discussing earlier, having Magnate plus Tactician, so you have a large starting hand to make that work. It obviously has the problem of Tactician discards all your treasures unless you find a staff or something to play it with. But if you're just doing the solo Magnate thing like Hakha is, having to discard most of your hand at the start of the turn from Tide Pools is a huge downside, because then you have like best case scenario Magnate and 2 treasures.
Yeah. At least you can activate City Gate first here and not discard into that shuffle. But yeah, this looks like a... Oh, also that-ish from Neqativ, 1 province. And
this is a pretty
trouble next turn, right?
terrible outcome, all things considered, for Neqativ, because that's just enough that they still have to discard 4 cards. So like they can try to have a turn here, but they're not really going to have a turn. But they're also probably not going to find the outpost.
How many Tide Pools are down there?
So I think it's
1.
Oh, I thought we said it was 2. At some point, someone said it was 4. I don't know if that was
1 in hand now.
A guesstimate.
Played 2 last turn.
Oh, you're saying not including the one in their hand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1
I think there's
3.
1 more.
Yeah.
So like they can kind of sort of have a turn. They can draw a little bit into the shuffle, but unless they find the outpost, it's going to be a doozy.
Okay. We match the estate now. Oh, double estate actually for Hakha.
Fascinating.
So, draws a silver. Okay, we're going for it. No, the Tide Pool is not top decked, so...
Is this a good idea?
Let's go.
No? Well, okay, see this draw.
Yeah.
Apparently it pays to be
No
greedy.
worries.
Okay, maybe it doesn't pay that much to be greedy. You still got to find your outpost for this to be a
We
great
can
idea.
draw a card now?
Yeah.
Or can we? Is that enough? Yeah, it is enough. You get a villager here, so...
I think you take
I'm
plus
assuming.
card here.
Yeah, you can, right? With nomads?
The upside of finding outpost is huge. Finding a silver would also be pretty good.
Yeah, that's what... It's an estate.
So the good news for Neqativ is even if they draw their outpost in their starting hand, they could top deck it rather than pitching it. Oh, actually, wait. How does City Gate plus 1 card? I was hoping you could resolve all the Tide Pool discards and then like grab the outpost and put it into your hand, but I don't think that works. You just have to top deck it again.
Yeah, it's just a dot. Oh, Hakha chooses not to get the province here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were expecting Neqativ's turn to do with 5 Tide Pools in
yeah.
play. I think provincing here looked pretty fine for Hakha.
Is that Duchy Estate instead?
I'd just click undo and pick the province here.
I think that's the province, but maybe not easy to keep track of what is happening on Neqativ side. Okay.
Yeah.
Reconsidering. Or maybe just miscounted. That can of course also just happen.
So for anyone who's just joining, Neqativ had a huge lead early on, doing this Tide Pools plus Outpost thing. But I think it just seems like a misplay on their part. I think it was turn 10, where the tricky part with the Tide Pools is you play all your Tide Pools, you take your Outpost turn. If you've got a fresh shuffle, then even though you're taking your Outpost turn, discarding all your Tide Pools, all those Tide Pools and your Outpost are all going to the discard, and then you've got a deck full of non-Tide Pool, non-Outpost cards, and then your next like 2 turns are all duds. And so what you got to do for that deck is you got to play your Tide Pools, play your Outpost, and have at least 4 cards left on your deck. So you draw those 3, you draw a 4th one from City Gate, you don't trigger a shuffle then all the Tide Pools and your Outposts get discarded, you draw a fresh hand, and now your Tide Pools are shuffled back into the rest of your stuff. Neqativ didn't do that, and then they had a dud, and they had another dud, and the Outpost is not in their deck anywhere, it's in their discard pile, and so it's kind of like throwing away a few turns there. And now, I mean, it looks like a decent spot for Hakha.
I was also kind of surprised they got City Gate, since now it's top deck 4 cards instead of top deck 3 cards.
Yeah.
Seems like a harder challenge, but yeah.
Yeah, because they got it later, didn't they?
Yeah, they got it basically on the turn they set this whole thing up. We said, okay, we need to demand here, but then they also got City Gate, so then...
Yeah.
they made it harder for future turns.
Yeah, I think that City Gate was probably harmful, all things considered, for Neqativ.
So Hakha doesn't top deck silver, but top decks is Sculptor instead for next turn.
That also
expecting a magnet draw is probably. Yeah.
Is it better to have the Sculptor on top? Maybe. Like,
yeah, if you get a silver and a card on your magnet turn, it's probably better than on this one. But it still means no province.
Yeah.
No province for this turn.
I was thinking if you wanted the villager effect, you could just play the Sculptor this turn, get the villager. It's kind of equivalent to sculpting silver and taking action next turn. But if you wanted the plus card, then maybe it's better.
Yeah. Okay. Top deck. The tide pool drew nothing. And at least we have 2 buys because of Endless Chalice. Okay, so what does Saga do on this turn? Guildmaster first, silver, and now needs the action to play on after, so didn't change anything.
I'm a little surprised by the twist to take a card there. Maybe it makes sense. Looks like it'll pay off.
Okay, so big turn now. Nice to find the other Sculptor.
This could be a win.
So do we need a buy?
This looks like it does.
Sun.
I mean, you got the plus buy from the favors, so that's just a win.
2 buys? You can just spend them immediately, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Neqativ looked like they had this in the bag, and it just seems like a misplay. One that costs you like 3 whole turns, and the Hakha's deck was good enough to come back from that.
Yeah, very nice comeback. Yeah, it was very nice to see the the different approaches from both.
Yeah, I like that kingdom.
Both tricky to execute, yeah. So.
All right, what have we got here? This looks kind of ugly.
Yeah.
Sailor looks decent. I mean, Corsair and Cobbler aren't phenomenal or anything, but if you can play him for free off of Sailor, that's something to at least consider. Beyond that, I mean, I could see going for Golem. I mean, Golem is so terrible. It's just like one of the worst cards. But there's nothing else to do here, and you could stonemason for 2 golems at a time.
And you can also stonemason them later into vineyards.
Yeah.
To score, since you will have quite a few action cards here.
Yeah,
I would expect.
Yeah, you probably want the potions anyway for vineyards. I think this could actually be a kingdom where you get golem here. And then you probably want a decent number of markets in that deck. Distant lands kind of synergize with vineyards because it's victory points, but also buffs your vineyards because it's an action. Stonemason can get very pile-outy. Okay, so Silver Sailor opening. Oh my goodness. So Neqativ gets the absolutely absurd turn 3 draw.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know how likely that is. It can't be very likely, but Sailor plus 4 coppers turn 3 is just absolutely absurd. Firstly, you get to buy a second Sailor. You're playing 2 Sailors before you trigger your shuffle. They fully resolve, so they go back into your deck the next shuffle. And with Stonemason around, you're hitting like 7 money and can Stonemason for 2 5s. Like that's just so much better than any other configuration of those 12 cards. Like Sailor 3 coppers is so much worse than that.
What do you take here? 1 Corsair? I'm assuming 1 market for sure, but
that's a good question.
Or is it 2 markets maybe?
My first
I think those are the options.
Is probably just 2 markets. Corsair would be reasonable.
Yeah.
Do you play this Stonemason? I'm gonna say no. Turning a state into 2 coppers is like worse than nothing. And I mean, is a silver better than nothing?
What expected mission here?
Yeah, mission looked good, knowing that you have 2 sailors coming up. Even buying a sailor looked reasonable. But yeah, I think mission seems like the correct call.
Now we turn the copper into silver, which doesn't inspire me personally.
Plus, with a good draw on your mission turn, like they didn't hit it here, but it's quite possible they could have hit Piazza, which is something you can buy for free on your mission turn.
Yeah, that is very satisfying. Those interactions.
In fact,
you can
Mission here seems like it'd be good. You'll definitely hit 5.
Ooh, potion. Nice. And the second potion. Let's go for Hakha as well.
Hakha, I'm gonna guess missions.
Yeah, I like mission.
Hakha seems like the mission type to me.
Oh.
Let's see if I'm right about that.
Yeah. How badly was mission slighted in the Thunderdome rankings?
I'm not sure. Someone let me know.
Yeah, probably too low. I'm a big fan still.
I like mission. Encourages decks at spin aimlessly.
Okay, gets a sailor instead. So still no justice for mission.
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty. Again, hitting 7.
You take a whole turn.
A whole turn. Yeah. Especially if you buy Piazza, right? You can do everything you want.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be any stonemason misadventures with Piazza this game?
Ooh.
It's probably fine, right?
I mean, I'd be willing to take that risk.
Inconvenience.
For sure.
Inconvenience at most.
You hit a 5, you gain 2 of the 4s. That's not so bad.
Yeah. Treasure Golem get 2 vineyards in a late game. That's fine.
Yeah, I think probably more likely than not, if your Piazza hits the stonemason, that's still better than it whiffing and hitting a treasure or something.
True.
Because
nice.
The odds you have a card worth stonemason in your hand are pretty good.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw 2 golems at turn 8? What a beauty.
Yeah.
Now don't hit double stonemason, I guess, with the golem.
Nope.
Or just play the markets first.
Is that correct? I'm not even sure. Because if you wait to play your golems, you stop having targets for them. Like if you drew all your sailors, for example, then that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, that was one really bad case, right? Where you draw 2 stonemasons with the first golem and then just your turn ends. Well, that was unlikely, so I think I would have played golem first. But
that seemed like the right thing to me.
Stone. You have to treasure stonemason for 2 coppers. Not what we want to do.
That's not what I expected
to
happen.
Yeah. I mean, golems make the stonemasons quite a bit worse in your deck, so...
Did
Hakha has 9.
Neqativ could have gained a cobbler there. I thought would have been a reasonable gain. You got your sailor in play, so you get to innovate the cobbler and play it immediately. And then, like, I'm thinking about potions already.
Yeah.
Rushed on the vineyards. Stonemasons you can empty just in a lightning, or in a flash. And then markets are already low.
Yeah. Stonemason will be blinded by all this light.
Yeah.
And the pace they're gone. Yeah, so with 2 markets, 5 sailors, 7 stonemasons, it's not that far off, right?
Like with stonemason, like you know the game's gonna end early, and then just it still ends 2 turns faster than you thought it was.
Yeah.
Because you can buy 1 stonemason to empty any 2 other cards for the right money. Emptying stonemason is incredibly cheap. Like let's say there's 6 stonemasons in the pile. All you need is 8 money and 2 buys to empty 6 stonemasons, because you can stonemason for stonemasons. Plus the stonemasons in your deck can gain you 2 cards at a time. Yeah, it's just ridiculously good at emptying piles. Among the best. So I want points much earlier than otherwise here.
Yes. Among the best, probably not very controversial.
Yeah.
So 14, this is... Ooh. Another potion could be interesting. Mission maybe with all those stonemasons. Probably not. I wouldn't expect it now anymore. Or not at this turn.
I think mission could be totally reasonable here.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Mainly because you don't have Piazza yet. So like buying mission and hitting 5, which you're going to do, means that at worst case scenario, you spent 4 for Piazza, which is a totally fine deal.
And plays a distant land, so that is nice.
Yeah, if you get anything else on top of that, playing distant lands, playing a stonemason, getting a sailor in play, then mission looked great.
Yeah, I would also play a lot more missions, but yeah, I'm not here, so probably have some things in mind. Okay, still going for the copper trashes, no stonemason into things yet.
I think there are a bunch of scenarios where mission could have been bought sooner than it was. The first mission especially just looks really good if you have any likelihood of hitting 5, because you can still buy Piazza on your mission turn, and so you're not even losing a buy really buying the mission. Additional missions after that may be a little bit more situational, but I would expect at least one mission earlier on from both players.
So we'll probably get three distant lands in total down this turn, so nice point lead.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm still surprised that there aren't more potions.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be more vineyard focused by a decent degree. And again, I think the best way to get those potions would actually just... Oh, what? Oh, that was mission turn. Is there not more we could have done if we played on there? I guess you risk drawing your golems and you want to leave the golems on top. Interesting choice.
Yeah. For sure interesting. I would expect wanting to stonemason something to something, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And then...
But I still really like gaining cobblers with a sailor in play as the way to get your potions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Like
Hakha's listening.
Yeah. So now we play the golem first, right? Copper on top.
Yeah. Here we go.
And again, Yep, they also trashed some stonemasons, so maybe there wasn't even a risk of anything bad happening here. Yeah, it looks like most stonemasons are gone, so... The potion is at the bottom right, that's not gone yet.
I think you're correct about that.
That's a bit sad. Yeah. Well, this is the punishment for people who only buy one potion, right?
Yeah. Bottom deck of the potion is a little bit rough. Neqativ still isn't pursuing the cobbler additional potions.
Okay. All the stonemasons go. Sadly. So the golems might get to stay around in the deck and not get turned into points.
Is the stonemason actually a bad card? Like, they could have played the stonemason on their mission turn and gotten something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad card, but I think there's some, maybe golem trauma going on. You rely on them once a year, and then they just find your 2 terminal actions at the start of the turn. So I understand why one would want to get rid of them.
What is this? Hakha lowering distant lands seems inadvisable.
Maybe they counted the stonemasons. Maybe they counted the stonemasons. Maybe it's possible they're all gone now in Neqativ stack.
Just in
but you
general,
can still empty stonemason. Yeah.
You're lowering piles with a points deficit.
No. Yeah. And you're right. The stonemasons are basically gone. You don't need buys. You don't even need stonemasons.
And we're gonna lower sailors too. I mean, stonemason is still easier to empty than sailor, but I don't understand why they would do that. That seemed really bad to me.
I mean, it's as close as it's just over, right? Fairly
I'd be
easily.
shocked if Neqativ can't end it this turn. It's probably almost in hand.
I agree with Brepard that this was playing for a dot, although I think the golem was guaranteed in hand, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to dud pretty bad, I think, for this to not work out. This is in hand easily.
Yeah, trivia at this point. Yeah, with 2 money to spare and 5 buys. So we're in for a match.
1-all.
That's great news.
All right. Oh, this looks
These villages are less finicky.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. So the first thing that jumps out to me is Mapmaker and Village Green interact great with each other. Because you play your Mapmaker, you pick your 2 not Village Green cards, and then you discard the Village Greens, and then you get to play them. So it's going to often draw as much as Rabble.
Sure.
You don't want to play with Rabble, because Rabble is going to discard tons of your opponent's cards, triggering all their Village Greens for them. So the best draw here looks like Mapmaker / Shepherd with your green cards. There's tons of sifting with Forum to line that up, which also can activate your Village. Village Green just looks great here. There's a lot of stuff that activates it. There's Storeroom in the Kingdom, which you can discard it with. The payload, I think, is mainly Bridge Troll. I could see getting Highways, but I think most of the time Bridge Trolls are just going to be better, because you have no shortage of actions.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a shortness of draw, right? Because there's no trashing.
I could see duds happening here, but like you've got enough draw that when your turn works, you easily draw your whole deck. Like a Mapmaker into a Shepherd will probably get you going, and then with cost reduction, it's not going to be too expensive to add some forums for reliability. So they both open Storm and Village Green. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's another activation. I was wondering whether a Shepherd comes into play here, but at least not in the opening.
Silly Potter is suspicious of something.
Can Arena trigger the Village Green?
So you could just leave your Village Green in hand, discard it to Arena for 2 victory points, and then play it next turn. I assume, like in this scenario, Hakha didn't want to do that because you would have hit 3 money instead of 4, and well, the 4s are a lot better than the 3s here.
Yeah, I also have a suspicion that someone just gets 48 points in one turn.
And I don't think the 2 points matters a whole lot. Like I take it for free, but not for much more.
Yeah, free is okay, but
7
1 coin.
Not bad with Mirror. You get to take 2 3s here. 2 4s. I'm not sure which one I would take here. Probably double Village Green. Double Mapmaker looks good too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mapmaker looks pretty good. You could also go Mapmaker Village Green. No, you can't. That's 8. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to pick one lane and stay in it with the mirror.
Yeah. Stay in your lane. Look at the mirror.
I'm thinking double Village Green. Has less of a downside case than having 2 Mapmakers and just the 1 village. I'm not even sure that's true though. I changed my mind. Double Mapmaker it is. Like you find your Mapmaker, if your Village Green is in any of the top 8 cards, then you're fine. Like if it's in your hand, your deck kicks off. If it's in the top 4 cards of your deck kicks off. It's hard for that to go too bad.
Isn't that 9 even?
Oh, discounting the Mapmaker.
Oh, discounting the Mapmaker. Okay.
Like of your top 9 cards, if any of the 8 non-Mapmaker cards are Village Green, then you trigger. Mirror is the name of a treasure.
Is that going over my head?
Haunted Mirror.
Haunted Mirror. Oh, yeah, fair enough.
What did they end up choosing?
Storeroom Village Green.
Interesting choice. I don't like it, but it's not terrible.
Okay, do we try and draw? No, there's no more estate, right? So I guess we just play the Village Green normally, play the Shepherd for 2 cards, or do we just toss everything?
Ooh.
Okay. Now 4, another Shepherd. Okay.
Is that bottom card the other storeroom? They have 2 of them,
I would hope so.
I think the bottom card is storeroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Hakha is going to have an interesting choice here. So they draw the storeroom. I think you actually play the Village Green. Oh yeah, I don't do that, Hakha. Undo. I don't like that. Cut that out.
Too late in a second.
So if you if you discard and draw here, then all four of those junk. Yeah, here we go. So like you could discard 5 cards for draw, and you can trigger your Village Green. You'll draw 1 more card in total. The downside is you're putting all this junk back in your shuffle. If you just play the Village Green first, you trigger a shuffle, and then when you sift all the coppers away, they're going into your discard rather than straight back into your deck. Yeah. Alternatively, you could just pitch all this for money and like not try to have a bigger turn. That would also be fine. Like delay the Village Green, get 5 money and buy a Bridge Troll. That'd be an okay turn too.
Yeah, I could see that. Neqativ got the first Bridge Troll and a very nice Shepherd hand.
Yeah,
just out of the turn.
Great starting hand.
I think that's what you dream of, right? That's why Shepherd used to be on my ban list.
Yeah, Shepherd creates really interesting decks in the long term, but one of the most annoying things is it's often a very good opener. You buy it on 4, but then the quality of your turns hinges so much on whether that early Shepherd lines up with your green cards, which you have little control over. I was expecting a Shepherd opening from them, to be honest. They didn't.
Yeah, me too. Okay. There's a Village Green down there, right? And it 4 cards, so storeroom is safe, yeah.
Ish. Because you don't really want to trigger this shuffle, I don't think. Right?
Oh, so you go for 3?
They have 2 Village Greens and it works out just fine. So they can't both be on the bottom.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, you discard both Village Greens, but you only play 1 right now. You could discard 1 to Arena if you don't need the money. So I guess you count up your money. If you need the 1 extra coin, then you leave the other Village Green in hand and just take 2 free victory points.
Yeah, the second buy doesn't look...
The second buy
very
for sure is
irrelevant.
Right? The 1 money looks like it's the difference between buying a 4 cost and a 5 cost. So I'm thinking
No, you get a 5 cost regardless,
right? You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking just discard the 1, take the 2 victory points, and buy a second Bridge Troll.
Yeah. Since they're free, we will reluctantly take them.
Yeah, exactly.
Off of Arena.
The 2 points are so unlikely to matter in this kingdom because the first person to build the deck that does the thing is going to empty all the piles in a split second. But if you don't need the money, well, you might as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it also
do remember those.
What's his bottom card? Because if the bottom card is a copper and you draw it, does that make a difference? I still don't think... Like, buying a 5 and a 3 doesn't sound great to me. So I still think you take the points, even if it's like a money card. I guess it can't be less than 1 money, because whatever it is, you just discard it with storeroom for 1 money.
Yeah. Can you?
Oh, no, you're... Forget me. We're already on the second step of storeroom. I was thinking this is the first one. Yeah, so you can't do that.
Yeah, so we take the extra money to get another storeroom, maybe?
Let's find out. Okay, they do want another storeroom.
Storeroom better than 2 points. Yes. Okay, so how many green cards come up here? We're ignoring the duration Village Green effect.
Okay. That's a sad hand.
Yeah. Are we ignoring the duration effect? I thought we didn't, but...
Ignoring in what way?
I'm not sure. We were in the impression that the arena thing does trigger the duration effect, but...
It do.
Maybe that's... Okay, getting through deck here for Neqativ. Hakha should also have no troubles this time. But 4, kind of awkward. Third storeroom, not that exciting, right? So we just get 2 4s.
I wasn't even that excited with the second storm, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, for sure not a third one.
Yeah. Second shepherd. Fair enough. Ooh, an estate.
2 estates.
Another estate.
Bold.
Takes a point lead.
I think you play the storeroom here. You got village greens down there somewhere.
But what? Do we go to the end of the shuffle or through it again with that shepherd?
I was expecting you play the storeroom, pitch 4 coppers. You'll hit a village green, I think, in all likelihood. And then you play the shepherd and draw as much as you can. Maybe that's not the case. Like, I was thinking if you overdraw, you can clear your shuffle off and still get money off of the second storeroom, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I didn't think it through very carefully. My intuition was storeroom, discard 4 coppers, and see where it takes you.
Yeah, I see why this game takes a little longer. Storeroom matches in a championship match.
Yeah, very thinky kingdom.
Very thinky, yeah.
Because this is definitely the sort of kingdom where like you're manipulating your shuffles very carefully, and like doing it slightly wrong, you could trigger a disaster shuffle, and then that could cost you the game.
So that's, I guess, just an okay turn. Okay, we're not getting the bridge draw. Maybe a highway first. Not confident about the draw, or where are we going with this? No. Just.
I could see the logic of taking, say, highway or something there if you're, not confident in your deck, because the other bridge troll is coming out of play. Maybe you don't think you can get 2 bridge trolls and play very reliably, and the highway is at least a cantrip.
Yeah. Oh, was this the end of the line? That's like not great.
Yeah, it's a sad hand.
Yeah.
That's weird how adding a bunch of estates to your deck makes you dud.
Yeah, if the shepherds are buried below the estates, then something went wrong in the planning.
I'm torn. Like, this is a greedy amount of bridge trolls for decks that aren't really together yet. Like, if you just add all of these 4-cost cards to your deck is going to get really good, really efficient. That being said, I've been in more than one bridge troll game where, like, the one person takes 3 bridge trolls and just manages to line them up, and then they buy, like, 20 cards, and then now their deck works. And so, like, I can see some rationale for maybe just trusting in the process.
Yeah, this is also how I construct shepherd decks. Just put all the green ones with the shepherds and hope for the best. Oof. What happened? We discarded 2 shepherds.
So we triggered a shuffle and just drew nothing of value. The 3 estates on top is also kind of doubly bad, because in Neqativ's deck, that's your draw right there.
Yeah. I mean, Hakha's deck turn also doesn't look very great. Yeah. So we're just taking a breather here, turn 9, and then we'll get back on track. At least getting 1 bridge troll down.
I'd like a few more of these village greens, map makers. Those are still at 10. And would have been triggered off of these 1,000,001 estate buys.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, forums would be nice, but they're so expensive, right?
Yeah.
Somehow, these decks are not quite where they want to be. But I could see, like, the penultimate turn, just get 7 forums for 1 or something. When you're preparing a pile out.
Yeah. I mean, usually if you get 5 bridge trolls in play, you win anyway, somehow or other. But here that's definitely going to be true, because with 5 bridge trolls in play, you can just click forum 10 times. And then
true, yeah, then the game is basically over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of cards that got shafted pretty hard in the Thunder Dominion rankings, Mapmaker was done real dirty.
Oh yeah, you're the advocate, right, for that card, or is there community around it?
I'm not. I just, in my impartial assessment, it is objectively a good card. Okay. I'm not a shill for Mapmaker or anything. I just recognize its value.
Okay, I saw some controversy around it, but I didn't know like how badly it was treated.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine card. I guess slightly above average in Plunder. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, Yeah. I mean, Abundance was rated above it, right? That was
Yeah, that
upset
seems
me.
ridiculous
But,
to me.
but yeah, so negative stack, that's a curse of the Shepherd stack, right? Once they fall apart, sometimes the whole shuffle is just ruined. And
I don't believe in these highways. A forum, or really any of the 4-cost cards, would probably be better at making your deck work. And if your deck works, then money is not going to be an object. But the forums let you get forums, because like if this deck kicks off and you line up your shepherds with all the green cards, then you can discard all the green cards at the end from storeroom and have like 10 extra money, relative to a deck that plays 1 bridge troll and 4 coins. Which I was just using that as an example, and then Neqativ literally drew that hand.
So get 2 bridge trolls down here.
Oh, they played 2 bridge trolls.
That's
and 4
pretty
coins.
good.
My bad, Neqativ.
Yeah. So, how bad is the rest of the shuffle?
I don't think they have any other shepherds in the shuffle, right?
Yeah, not great.
And they don't have any Village Greens durations. But they could draw a shepherd here. You never know.
Yeah, you'd have to go for it, right? You can't... Oh, you don't have to go for it. You can arena that. Remind me, can you still arena after the points are gone?
Yes.
If you need to? Yes. Okay.
Although probably both players have their autoplay on and will forget about it and will have to request an undo when they realize that. Yeah. As usually happens.
It's not that usual, right? That you need that, but
at Village Green is the main case.
Yeah.
That and I don't know, Faithful Hound maybe. Imagine playing 3 bridge trolls and buying a single storeroom, and that's your whole turn. It's rough.
Oof. Wow. Yeah. Are you a fan of the 3rd storeroom?
No.
Are they getting back on track?
No. That was better than just passing.
They jumped the shark, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The landmarks have not.
That's why keep is the best landmark.
I like
Doesn't
keep.
matter.
Keep is fine.
Yeah, me too.
The 2 victory point per person landmarks, most of those are pretty bad. There's a lot of other landmarks that are fine. Orchard's great.
Yeah.
Keep. Tower is the best landmark. That one's a barrel of fun.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, that's boring to discuss with you because I agree with everything you said. So. But Arena at least has Village Green going for it, so that is something. Just remove the points, just have it. There's I guess it's not an event. I don't know what it would be without the points, but...
Hakha's about to have a real turn here.
Can afford more than 1 storeroom.
So this feels like the point where you shove all the cards in your deck and your deck works, and then you win.
Yeah. So that's what was I talking about, right? Now we can get some forums on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to buy, I think, at least 1 mirror just for the free extra gain. That's 3 money right there. And then that would leave you could buy 4 or 5 costs and like 2 of the 4s, or 5 costs and 1 of the 4s.
Okay. Trace has the playtester at fault. Just noting that down. That's okay.
Maybe you don't even do.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Maybe it's like double mirror bridge troll, and then just click 4 of the 4 costs. No, I think maybe better.
Is it better?
I don't know. Unclear.
And Forum seems better than Village Green Mapmaker, for example. At least to me. Maybe not.
I guess the benefit of Forum is when the 4s cost 0, the plus buy from Forum means it's not 1 coin and a buy. It's just the 1 coin. So like 1 extra mirror versus 3 extra forums. I think I'd take 3 extra forums there.
It's tricky. Do you need to be careful about Neqativ's pile out? I mean, don't think he's quite there yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance from Hakha's perspective that Neqativ's hand is, Shepherd and 4 green cards, and then all of a sudden they have some ridiculous turn. I don't think I would play around it.
So what's the bridge troll split? Is it 4? Does Neqativ have 4 that he could put down?
I think so. At least Hakha's got to the end of his deck, and so I would think that if he had more bridge trolls, we'd see him right now.
True.
Yeah, I don't know the
That's a
precise
good
distribution.
point.
I think you add at least 1 more bridge troll, probably 2, and then just a bunch of reliability cards. And if you can get 4 bridge trolls in play, then you're gonna win. I think. Maybe you can win with just 3 bridge trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got highways too. Maybe just 1 more bridge troll. I think.
Would be interesting, like what the probability is. Would be interesting to know, like how likely is it that Neqativ can get 3 bridge trolls down this turn? His deck so far hasn't been promising in that regard.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think I'd buy a province here for Hakha. I could conceive of buying, I don't know, maybe a duchy or 2 if you're really afraid of Neqativ winning. I think probably most lines here just lead to Hakha winning next turn if you just click. Highway was not on my radar, not even slightly. But I think most things that you could click here are going to result in Hakha winning next turn.
Okay, 25%.
The highway
without seeing the opening hand, right?
Mark, what are we? Fascinating choices.
Market, highway to markets. Surely some consistency, right? I don't want to that next turn.
Right. Like I would want more cards that make my deck function. Hakha, I think, is overestimating Neqativ's deck and is just like really afraid of lowering piles. But even if you were afraid of lowering piles, I mean, you could just click Harbor Villages and Map Makers, and that probably benefits your deck and doesn't lower any relevant pile.
Yeah, 4 forums I like, and then 2 4s.
Yeah.
Or do we get a bridge troll? Yeah.
I'm going to say Forum, Mapmaker, Harbor Village. Maybe double Mapmaker even. You have terminal space.
How many duration villages are coming in?
For Hakha?
Yeah. Hope it's not 0.
I think none.
Yeah, then I would buy a villagey thing.
Yeah. I don't like the markets. I don't think the markets are doing anything. Just like the plus buy, if you hit your highways and your bridge trolls, you're gonna have enough buys to just drain the forums and empty some other pile. So I don't like the markets very much. I would take something that lets you not dud. I can at least get the highway. To me, the highway says I want bridge trolls, but I'm worried the bridge troll pile is too low, so I'm gonna get the next best thing and not open up a pile out. It seems like they've reached a mutual detente that they're just not going to touch the Mapmaker pile, presumably because it's too overpowered and that would just be unfair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember the days when people before ban lists were there, when people just asked whether we want to ignore possession.
I remember that.
Now it's just...
Yeah.
Now it's all about Mapmaker. Just
I remember...
have to agree in chat.
Everyone would ask you, like, oh, possession's a kingdom. Can we just ignore that? And the other one everyone would ask about was rebuild. Was really common.
Oh,
ew, rebuild. Can we just ignore rebuild? And I remember, like, I never cared about rebuild. Like, it didn't bother me. But I always said, yeah, sure, let's ignore rebuild. Because I wanted to ignore Masquerade and Swindler. And so, in the interest of fairness, I'm going to ask folks not to play
You
Swindler.
can-
I guess I got to tell them, sure, I'll ignore rebuild for you.
Yeah. My favorite one was I declined the possession bans usually. And someone beat me up really badly with possession then, and then I was like, huh, did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
You want to see more of that? You do you. Okay, not a bad start for Neqativ to the turn. Okay, now the Shepherd green ratio is not quite there anymore.
So we did get a harbor village, but not a map maker.
I mean, would you still ban Swindler?
I still ban Swindler.
Okay, you do.
Yeah.
It's like the more powerful the decks get, the less disruptive Swindler is actually to what you're doing, but
I don't hate Masquerade as much as I used to. Now I only strongly dislike it, but it is not on my ban list.
Is that a new feature on Steph's side, the strongly dislike?
Yeah, I'd really rather not. Makes it 25% less likely.
Yeah. Okay, so quite a few buys. All the rituals are down. So I'm assuming Hakha did more counting than we did. Know how much money this will produce?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to count because like your amount of money here is so variable based on how many
Shepherd storeroom, right? Yeah. Right. I wouldn't even.
All right. Yeah. Folks seem to believe
I would try, but probably not bother.
Let's see. What's the easiest win here? We're tied on points. Yeah. So you play the storeroom, and then you have 8 buys. You can buy out 2 of the shepherd and the village green pile, and then discard something for 2 points to arena. We'll see if next.
How do we get 5 coins?
Hmm.
Do we need 5 coins for the?
No. Did I miss? So shepherd and village green costs 0.
Okay.
So
8 buys. 8 buys. Okay. Yeah.
And the extra points come from arena.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so really the village green and the shepherd is what did Hakha in here. They got both of from the low piles.
So it looks like they have a secondary win here, which is discarding all of it, buying mirror, buying out shepherds and village greens, and then you have 1 coin and 1 buy left and can buy a duchy. That would also work. They're going the arena route, it looks like.
Yes.
Oh, the storeroom route.
Oh, interesting. Why we went for storms instead? Nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Right. Arena was the MVP here.
So yeah, their last turn did more than I expected it to.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was not impressed so far with Neqativ's deck, but
yeah, it's a little tricky.
Yeah, another comeback, I would say.
Like Hakha could have taken some duchies there, but with Bridge Troll you got to be careful because like 1 or 2 duchies might make you a little bit safer versus the pile up. But like you take 3 duchies and all of a sudden now the duchy pile is the easiest pile to empty because Bridge Troll tends to be really good at lowering duchies.
Yeah, true. That's happens quite often.
So neither player gets the 5-2. That would just be ridiculous here.
Who left the villages in the last kingdom? Ooh. Exorcist over Rope.
I do love Exorcist. I was thinking Rope here, just because hitting 5 looks really nice between Demand and Buried Treasure and such for kicking things off. Like if you hit 5 first, then you can Demand an Exorcist, and then you're at the same spot, but better.
Maybe you get a Ghost and multiple Bridge Trolls, and then your Wisps are very good. Mm-hmm. And you can make up for the tempo.
Although once you get multiple Bridge Trolls, you can't gain any more Wisps off of your estates. Quite a tragedy.
Yeah, doing them in the other order. Then, if you open with it, I hope you're done with your states. I say that as Neqativ doesn't draw a 1 with the Exorcist.
War Chest. When did that happen? Why did that happen? Hakha taking War Chest as the first 5. Intriguing.
Name's Buried Treasure, and then we gain British. Okay.
I don't believe in the War Chest. War Chest. If War Chest could let you gain demand, I'd be a lot more for it.
But you like the game, though, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like the War Chest. Demand rope.
Surely we won't get another one here.
Buried treasure. Okay.
It's buried treasure.
I'd rather demand a rope, but Hakha likes the other yellow-orange card.
What place did rope get?
Oh, that's a good question. Someone let us know what place rope got.
Top 3, right?
Something ridiculous.
Ooh, King's Cash.
Probably Kaplane's fault. And rope is a good card. I don't know if it's top.
It's a very good card, I think, right? So someone does have a second bridge roll already. Hakha.
What do you do here as Neqativ? Well, kind of want to just demand another bridge troll and then not use the Exorcist. Yeah.
Ooh. You are in sync. But where are the actions coming from?
That is a good point. So you get 2 King's Cashes and 6 ropes, and then you King's Cash, play 3 ropes. You're drawing 9 cards from that on your next turn.
Yeah. The draw, I would say, is just mildly finicky.
Yeah.
But the actions is where it's at.
Yeah, actions are the big constraint here. It's tough. Like you could versus someone who's just playing rudimentary big money, it would not be hard to put a bunch of bridge trolls in play and pile out. And you can gain a bunch of ghosts and then ghost your bridge trolls, and that's fine. I think probably with versus a real opponent, you get probably 2 bridge trolls, and then you have just tons of buy from your ropes and your pawns and stuff, and then someone piles out before the other player sets up the big bridge troll mega turn.
Yeah. Well, that actually would be a fun kingdom to play against a big money player.
Yeah.
I agree. Just get trash all my watches and buried treasures for ghosts and then go to town, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the sort of kingdom where I'd want to be playing someone much worse. So they let me do all the stuff that I want to do.
Yeah. How often do you get to do it with Exorcist, like the funny ghost things?
Yeah. I love you're going to do the simple thing and I'm going to play 20 Exorcists and hope something happens.
Yes. yeah, that's my style too. It seems like in real matches it's tough to get the ghosts to be good.
Yep.
Like getting a ghost with it.
Back when I was new to the game, I remember one of the, I guess, eye-opening games that I played was it was a kingdom with wall in it, and so I was like, oh, obviously just play big money here. And someone, I don't remember who it was, but it was someone much higher rated than me, got like all of the Will-O-Wisps for minus 12 points and then built an engine that was still, strong enough to beat me. I was like, so that's how the thing works.
Nice. Yeah. Those are great formative experiences.
Yeah.
So, the people already lied to me about big money.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of money next turn.
Oh, yeah. Still quite a few coppers around.
Yeah, surprisingly many.
Okay, Buried Treasure has been established as the default naming, and we got a King's Cache. Ooh. Was that a rookie mistake?
Yeah, King. This looks like a great kingdom for King's Cache. I think my ideal target would be Rope, just because that's actually draw. But
Yeah.
King's Caching and Buried Treasure looks pretty good too.
Okay. Here we see why War Chest is better than Contraband. So gets the buyer all of them. No.
This is the sort of kingdom that I think the Temple Gate bot would be like weirdly good at, where like it's not really money or an engine; it's something awkwardly in between, and it would click way too many buried treasures, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's actually working out too well."
And how many are in play now at the moment? 6?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, okay. My money would have been on Rope to be piled before Buried Treasure.
I expected more ropes to be gained as well.
Okay, 3 pawns. So we're 8 gains away from the game ending. I mean, not quite there. So, I guess, does Hakha have it? How many buys are in?
So he's got
coming in?
6 extra buys coming in, it looks like. No, 7 extra buys. Or 7 total buys, an 8th buy in hand, but he would need to score points somehow. So I don't think you can win this turn.
Ooh. Or someone else buys some Buried Treasures.
So Neqativ bottom decked the Bridge Troll, which seems sad until you realize it would have stopped him from getting a Wisp.
Yeah, indeed. Also, yeah, on the bright side, they might just lose the game the next turn, so it doesn't matter that much. With a Dachi, maybe not.
I don't even think they I mean, they didn't know. Oh, well, that could do it. I forgot that there was a draw coming in from the Rope. So Hakha now has the buys. I don't know if they have the money.
Yeah, now with the province.
Yeah. Would they have had the money to pile it otherwise? 4 plus 12, 16, 18. It would have been 19. You got 12, 13, 15, 17, 19. So they would have had the win in hand if Neqativ hadn't bought that duchy. They might still win here with a good draw, but I don't think they have it in hand right now. And unfortunately, their next turn is going to be a lot worse because they're not going to have 4 buried treasures and Bridge Troll.
True. There's a King's Cache War Chest coming up.
I don't know how many actions are in Hakha's deck. They went for coin buy. I was expecting card coin. Like finding a King's Cache would have been excellent there. I'm not sure how many bad cards there are to draw. You'd be unhappy to draw your Bridge Troll. I'm not sure what else they got in there. Maybe there's more actions than I'm accounting for. Yeah, I don't love the buys. Card coin? Oh, oof. Okay, so it turns out that didn't work as well as we wanted it to. I'm still surprised by the choice of plus buy. I don't know what they were want. Maybe there's a card that if they drew it, they would have had a pile out, but only if they had the buys. I don't think that's the case though. Was there maybe an estate pile out there looking for? Possibly card buy and a King's Cache would have let them pile estates pawns and buried treasures. I haven't counted that.
Oh yeah, that's usually interesting alternative when you need points and a 3 pile.
Yeah. I'm anticipating a buried treasure buy here. And then maybe a pawn. Oh, demand buried treasure. I think I like that better.
Okay, now we are sad about not having played Bridge Troll as negative, right? Since we get another turn.
Yeah. I think Neqativ's goose is cooked.
So let's see a Wisp chain here.
Alright, we trashed a copper. Hoping for the long game, very optimistically. Even piling estates wouldn't win here, and Neqativ is still a lot of buys short of that.
We can hope for a bad turn for Hakha, right?
Yeah, so Hakha's turn isn't going to be great, but I think none of Neqativ's turns are going to be great. I think as Neqativ you lower piles here. Like this following turn for Hakha is probably about the worst it's gonna get, with no bridge troll down, and so you hope like you buy a pawn or two there. You just kind of hope Hakha misses and maybe you sneak in an estate pile out or something.
Yeah, I can see that, especially with all the bird treasures coming up for Hakha. The long game doesn't really favor you, right?
Yeah.
So we could see a 2-2, right?
It's looking that way.
Hakha.
Is this...
Okay, that's King's Cash.
Is win in hand? No, the King's Cash can't duplicate anything useful this turn, but Hakha will have plenty of money for the following turn.
Oh.
Too much King's Cash.
Does that win now?
Not enough buys.
True.
I think you duplicate the buried treasure.
Yeah, for sure, right?
So this is 9 money, or it could be 11 money. I could see duplicating the copper just to buy Province Duchy if you want to be really safe, but I think just a province here seems plenty. I vote take the pawns. I think.
Isn't it a bit risky?
I don't know what the bigger risk is. So you take the pawns. Maybe Neqativ. Can they do 8 estates in a duchy? I don't think so. I don't think Neqativ's deck is that good at generating tons of buys. And so lowering the pawns makes it easier for you to empty on your following turn and not give Neqativ time to catch up. I think everything looks likely to win for Hakha, so it's hard to say which one is mitigating your tail risk of losing.
Well said. Okay, state. Does it help against Duchy and all the states?
I think so.
Yeah.
So if you take one estate, then Neqativ taking 7 estates and a duchy is just a tie, and a losing tie because Neqativ's player 1, and so
so it would have to be province.
Right. Yeah. So whereas if you left Neqativ to his own devices, 2 pawns, 8 estates, and 1 duchy would win. With 1 estate in your deck, now they got to do 2 pawns, 7 estates, and 2 duchies, which is the same number of buys but slightly more money. So it helps you ever so slightly. Also, it does open up an estate pilot for you if you can generate the buys. So I like the estate buy.
Okay. Playing cantrip pawns here
Uh-oh,
without
sad Imp.
thinking.
Imp cannot play that bridge troll because there's already a bridge troll in play.
Yeah, I was a bit confused. Didn't we have to? No, okay, first pawn, then came the imp. So
They drew the Imp at like the first possible moment where they couldn't reasonably play it after playing the Will-O-Wisp and the first pawn. Unfortunate.
It's tough.
And they
so also looked like
they don't have any other targets down there that they could even hope to hit if they play the Imp here.
Yeah. Do we punish the imp here?
Just turn it back into a Will-O-Wisp.
Form into nothing. I guess when you play the bridge troll.
You would. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you wouldn't even get anything off the Imp. Just kill it. It's definitely better than nothing on average in this deck. It was just an unfortunate draw.
Yeah. Would have to be out of spite.
Yeah. So yeah, Neqativ's deck looks like it's still pretty far from doing anything.
Yeah, and this is the last turn, right? There's no way around it.
Yeah, so Hakha has 4 extra buys coming in, so that's 5 buys, 6 buys with the rope, and then potentially a 7th off of a war chest. So that'll be, I think, easily enough to pile pawns and ropes, right, with cost reduction. Even if Neqativ takes a point lead here, I don't think that would be safe, because you play your war chest and you could either gain a rope or a duchy off of it, and then you buy the other one.
How do you get a point lead?
Good question. I haven't figured that one out yet.
I use 1 coin short.
1 coin short. Let's say if you had 6 coins, you do province and 4 estates. Would take a point lead. Yeah, so you're almost there.
Damn imp in the way.
Yeah. If not for that, Imp Neqativ could have lost in 2 turns.
Maybe 2 turns, right? So name's Duchy.
Oh, is this not enough money actually?
Yeah, the turn kind of ends, right?
I just kind of assumed Bridge Troll and a bunch of buried treasures would be enough money, but it's not, is it?
Yeah. There was some default assumption that some new cards will be drawn, but there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, not that Hakha is in any danger. They're going to have 2 more Bridge Trolls coming in. Meanwhile, Neqativ's hand is not looking pretty. So what do you gain off of your war chest? Never too late for an exorcist.
I mean, would be one of the most surprising gains for me.
Yeah.
But
Piling estates does not seem ridiculous. You'd go up by what's that, 14 points, and then you have a guaranteed pawn pile out in the next turn.
Yep. I don't know what you do against that. And you can still pivot to duchy.
Can they do like 6 estates and a duchy? I don't think so, right? That would be 10. Oh no, they could do that, right? How about 6 estates and a duchy with 2 buried treasures coming in? Even with a 0 card hand, you could do 2 pawns in the last estate, and that just seems to make things ever so slightly harder for Neqativ, I think. King's Crown. It's like King's Cash or King's Court, and you get to pick.
Or is it a caravan?
King's Caravan.
Oh, please, no King's Courtyard. That's too much clicking.
King's Crypt. Now, there's a good card.
Has to be, right?
So what would King's Crypt do? Like, you can set aside your coppers on 3 different maps, but then they come back 3 times as fast?
Now they come back as a gold.
Mm.
Okay.
By province.
Decided for Rogue Province.
I mean, I guess you triggered this shuffle. You want to find your bridge troll? No, we take an estate. And
is the king implied on the card crown? Or can there be a king's crown?
I think like you could have a crown that was not specifically made for the king, and the king's crown is like different from. I don't know who else wears a crown in a kingdom.
I mean, the queen might, but
yeah, do like lower levels of nobility wear crowns? Oh no.
And then they'd have to take it up with the king.
Yeah.
So Hakha tried to pile out here, and then unfortunately realized that points cost 2 this turn because all the bridge trolls are nowhere to be found.
One day we'll get there.
Yeah, your king's crown doesn't have much design space, though, right? Yes. Playing treasure 3 times or action cards 3 times. Been there, done that. Okay. So what does Neqativ do here? We're just scrambling for points, I guess. For a few turns.
Gain a ghost. You're not going to win anyway. You might as well lose in style.
No. Don't shatter the ghost win rate. That's all we have going for. So, 4 coins. That's a duchy. Okay, this did get ugly. Oh, imp. Playing the pawn with a deck. Do we need to alert someone? Is there something happening here? On this side of the kingdom?
This still looks pretty far from doing things, right?
Anything. Yeah, to me it does. But maybe someone more creative.
It's like even province plus all the estates wouldn't be enough points, and they don't even have the money for that. Or did they? Well, they have the buys for it.
Surely we just buy 4 estates here, right? Maybe.
Might as well.
Maybe actually.
You have to do it at some point.
Yeah, maybe 2 estates is too easy. Okay. Left 3. Yeah, 2 estates was kind of in. Oh. Were 3 estates in hand or in play already for Hakha?
Were 3 estates in play?
Yeah, with bird treasure.
Oh, you mean like could they have the money already to gain 3 estates? I see.
Yeah. I mean, I guess not quite because they lost a coin to the bridge troll, but they just need to have the 1 coin in hand. So.
So 2 all. I've lost track entirely.
Yeah. We wanted to call it 2-0 15 minutes ago, but some things happened, but the end result was the same.
I'm going to second Strump's suggestion. If there's a duchy, then the next step up, province really should be a kingy, shouldn't it? So I think you're about to say something relevant to the kingdom.
Yes, it's very relevant. Does museum count as a 2VP thing in the landmarks design space?
That's a good question. Museum I think is a fine landmark.
Yeah. To me, yeah.
Specifically, the 2VP per player ones tend to be the weak landmarks.
I agree. That's how I would cluster them as well, but
So Neqativ,
I
I
don't
believe,
know.
technically needs 1.5 wins to win. So like a win and a tie would do it still.
Oh yeah, we're playing for the tie here as Neqativ.
Yep.
On a 5-2.
So this looks like a pretty sad money kingdom. Guildhall looks very relevant. I think you add some like treasure gainery things, and then
Guildhall Copper open. Very Bandit also looks could go in the
that doesn't
direction
sound
of money.
ridiculous to me. I don't think I would do it, but like not beyond the pale.
Oh yeah, the Runes Museum turn to buy also. Yeah, sure.
What a
Okay,
lovely
that's not the
Baron.
Baron.
See,
Yeah.
Baron's really good at hitting 5. It worked.
Oh yeah, well done.
Guildhall? Yeah. Frankly, kind of surprised that Hakha hit 3 on the next turn.
Okay. The play speed has picked up. So
Yeah, this is not going to be, I think, as thinky a kingdom as some of the other ones.
yeah. Okay, here we have to decide between. Oh, never mind, a coin. Yeah. All good.
Neqativ gets the Guildhall. Ooh, what do you buy here? Tools? Gondola? Haunted Woods,
yes.
it is. Okay. I was a little bit more focused on these treasures.
Yeah, I mean, we probably won't see a duplicate of a terminal action on this kingdom, right? Due to museum and them being terminal.
Yeah, like museum's gonna encourage you to kind of over terminal yourself a little bit. Because
what does Gondola do? It's something maybe this kingdom.
It is technically a village, so like you could play a gondola, play a tools, gain a gondola, and then like draw off a patrol or something, and then that could go somewhere.
So I get why you want to buy a gondola on this hand, for example, for Hakha, and not just buy it in a random.
Yeah, I think I like gondola here.
Yeah.
Like buying a gondola is like you get in gold off of it, which is it's better than a gold because you also get an extra coffer and you get to attack them.
So death card is a province, right? If you're not unlucky.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. So you buy death card, and if you find 2 distinct ruins, which you probably will, then it's 6 points on its own from museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I still think tools looks reasonable here. There's just a lot of things tools could gain that you'd be happy about, mainly your other treasures. And if you can't, to gain another tools, and that's a coffer.
Yeah, sure.
Baron.
Was that a cemetery here?
I'm gonna say yeah.
The way the treasures were played, it looked like it, yeah.
4 victory points.
Yeah, I guess.
And trashing your junk is way less important in this kingdom than the average kingdom because we're not hoping to build a deck that does real things.
Do anything, yeah.
But I mean, if the cards align, you might as well. The sad outcome is Bandit trashing your opponent's mirror when they don't have an action in play, because then they lose 2 victory points. And as I say that, that is exactly what happened.
Ew. Sad. Where are these action cards when you need them?
Yeah. My bad, Hakha. We trashed all 3 estates. Curious play for someone with a Baron in their deck.
You can gain one back right now.
Yeah. His Baron fixes itself. Looks like we got another gondola buy coming up for Hakha. Ooh,
Ooh.
discard that bandit, I would think. I'd take a ghost in the deck. Ghost seems pretty good here.
Yeah. It'll hit the Baron though, but
Fascinating. We trashed the silver. I am a little confused by that. I mean, playing the bandit is not bad, but gaining a ghost seems pretty good.
true.
I mean, Steph has a point that Haunted Woods kind of counters the ghost, but I mean, how reliably are you playing Haunted Woods in this deck? Maybe more reliably than it looks like with gondolas. How does gondola
Okay,
plus
Haka built a deck.
gondola plus terminal draw plus your opponent's Haunted Woods? So you buy a gondola. I guess there's no way that works out. Either you resolve the Haunted Woods attack first and there's nothing your gondola can play, or you resolve the draw first and then you draw, but then it gets top decked again. I was trying to figure out if there's a way to counter the Haunted Woods attack. I don't think there is.
We just saw double province for
Oh my.
Haka. Did not expect that. Which could be the championship quite soon. Yeah, but
Yeah, I think
the space of greening.
one more win for Hakha seals the deal.
Yeah, and then 9 coffers in the pouch. So we need the death card points very soon.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. 2 rune markets.
Oh,
Ooh, wow. Where it rains, it pours.
As Hakha, do you just take province here? I think so. Looks like Hakha agrees.
Gondola does not give a buy. I just learned. Okay,
Ooh,
legionary.
That was a pretty
attacks.
nasty legionary. I think as Hakha, you still just buy province.
Yeah.
Which
What do you do against?
might actually lose here. Do we have enough money to do anything with this plus buy? 8, 11.
Need 4 points.
That's close.
Can you get a rune? Can you get a death card and tie?
We're a coin short, right? Of province death.
Ugh. Yeah. 6. The coin?
Ooh, what about? Oh, you don't know. I was gonna say, ruin market buy gondola player death cart, but then that spins your only buy. That wouldn't help.
2 death cards. Yeah, that death cards. Ooh.
This is annoyingly close for Neqativ.
I mean, we see that Dark has 5 coin tokens, right? So
yeah, you can't
we
expect
know
to get another turn.
this is it, yeah.
Is there anything?
11.
Province. Oh wait. Does Neqativ? Oh, they regained their estate already. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that would be enough. That would also not be enough points, I guess, even if you were getting museum points off of it. Yeah, I think we're short. One more coin or one more buy would be enough here.
Oof. Yeah.
Well, actually, with the one more coin, I think would be a probabilistic tie because there's a chance you hit two ruined villages. All right.
So there we go.
Yeah, Hakha clinches.
Congratulations to Hakha.
Yeah.
Our 9th second-time champion in the Dominion League. I think we still get one more game to show off the skills.
Hakha taking a
beggar
here. This kingdom looks pretty straightforward, I would say. You got your villages, you got your terminal draw cards, you got not much else in the way of payload, but Market Square looks pretty good. Yeah, I think you just click village draw, get some gold off of Market Square plus Trading Post, and then that's your deck.
Yeah, and then a beggar to fuel it, right? The Trading Post. Yes, just say yes. I want to see it.
I've noticed I was playing some matches for the first time in a long time without commentating my own matches just this past month because I was out of town. And I do play a lot faster when I'm not commentating, but I'm pretty sure that's just because I'm not paying enough attention. And I'm like, when my opponent's turn, I'm checking mail and stuff like that. The one upside I did like that I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed is getting to listen to music while I'm playing, which you can't really do when you're commentating yourself.
Do you set the tempo of the kingdom to be in sync with the music? Like in a big money game, just very fast beats, and then you need to deliver it. It's gotta be some Mozart.
I do find that I have to pause the music in like thinky end games to do counting, but otherwise I've just got some music playing the whole time.
Yeah. That's actually also the reason why I used to commentate my games back then, to not check my mail or do anything like that when my opponent's taking a while. Yeah. It does help, but then you have to focus on speaking, so it has some downsides. So who doesn't have a Trading Post? I don't like the chances.
So Hakha took an early Trading Post. Neqativ has taken 2 Sea Witches. I think it's totally reasonable to take Sea Witch first and maybe get the Trading Post later.
Later being right now? No. Barracks. Okay. To save this turn, presumably.
Yeah, I guess they're expecting a potential dud because they know they have a Sea Witch coming up and no villages.
Yeah. So that does make sense. However, I like trash my starting cards. Yeah, nowadays it's either commentating or playing. It's less tiring. Oh. Someone in the chat just said we had to be informative. It's a note you usually get before the commentary starts.
You don't have to be informative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Trading Post now?
Oh.
Okay.
Turn 8 Trading Post. Let's go.
Good dogs.
Oh, look at those beautiful dogs.
Presumably you stop here.
Also barracks, maybe? Or do we...
Just... I really like the dogs. I mean, they're working out. Decent card when your opponent to see what's in your return. So Hakha has a market square, and it looks like they bottom decked it, which is pretty unfortunate because they got enough money here to make use of that plus buy.
But just Trading Post activating it after the curses are gone, right? Never mind. There's the beggar. We're fine. We're fine. The sheepdog is okay.
The beggar sheepdog combo.
Yeah.
What do you buy as Hakha? Ranger?
Or barracks? Yeah, maybe. No, labyrinth points, right? You want to buy a card.
Hakha likes the labyrinth points.
Yes, we need those. Yeah, I can see the ranger. Will be a lot of money. Could use a buy on a draw card. Very nice. and sword.
Animal Fair used to be a lost city. As in, like, it used to cost... It had the same cost, but the effect was lost city.
Does DC have some secret intel? Or...
DZ has a secret intel of just, like, remembering all the things Donald X has said over the years.
Yeah.
Nobody else does.
Yeah, that is quite powerful.
We are getting into Ship of Theseus territory where, like, maybe there's a card called Animal Fair that had a Lost City effect, but if it's different enough, is it still this Animal Fair that was the Lost City, or is it just a different card with the same name?
Yeah. It's also actually like a Lost City card that hasn't been printed either.
Yeah.
Let's go. There's sheepdogs left, so we will buy more sheepdogs. This is the way.
I wonder as Neqativ if you just like stop playing these sea widgets at some point because it helps Hakha too much.
Oh, hakha3 deck. Very nice.
It's a nice command.
Oh, there are quite a few now. I hope there's one on top.
I wonder if playing this last sheepdog, I wonder if that was a mistake. They did it very quickly, so I don't recall exactly what the situation was. But the upside of not playing the final sheepdog is you discard the first 3 or 4 sheepdogs at end of turn, and they go back into your deck. Whereas now all these sheepdogs go into the discard. And if you already had your trading post in hand, so you knew if you keep that sheepdog around, you could have triggered on your turn, and then you're triggering a shuffle with a lot more sheepdogs in it.
Yeah, true. It has to be. You have to draw one here, right? Or be dependent on a sea witch play from Neqativ.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Barracks.
So what were the Christmas stories this year on the Dominion Discord? I didn't see any.
I don't think the Advent calendar didn't happen this year, so we didn't have the...
Yeah. No poems.
No new Dominion-themed festivities as of yet.
Oh. Not even an alchemist, herbalist love story. Sad. Ooh, second trading post.
Do you lead with the trading post here? I really like playing the Ranger as Neqativ, just knowing what these sea witches tend to do to Hakha's deck.
Yeah, and also do your Ranger attacks.
Right.
So tokens not flipped.
Yep.
At the end of your turn, just do it. No matter how much you want to curse them.
Yep. Hakha did not get to have a turn.
Yeah. So both are also not getting a turn here, right?
Hakha... There's really nothing that he could draw that would really save that turn. Oh, well, maybe I spoke too soon. This actually
Let's go.
I was going to say, well, even if you draw your trading post, you don't have cards worth trashing. But if you draw your village, which lets you draw the sheepdog, which I guess lets you draw the trading post plus some treasures, then it works out just fine.
Cool. Did DVX expect that village will be like the quintessential Dominion art that represents the game? It would be interesting. Yeah, it seems like a prime candidate.
Village, I think, still to this day has one of the best arts in Dominion.
Yeah. Also, maybe that's why it became so associated with the game.
I agree. It is not controversial that Fishing Village was in Prosperity. I think Hakha.
He has the logs open. If the secret history had something else, then we would have heard about it.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb and guess that Hakha has a second trading post, because I noticed that there suspiciously is a third one missing from the pile. But I guess if your deck relies on activating sheepdogs, you play with extra trading posts.
Yes.
We just bought an animal fear outright. Curious.
Curious.
If I want extra plus buy, I think I'm just taking the Rangers. The money just seems like it fixes itself. With more draw, you just get all the golds you want off of Market Square. That just seems better than having animal fear to me.
So does not play the Sea Witch here, so does not want the Sheepdog Bonanza
Yeah.
to go off.
Not even lowering the curses when it's totally free. Is Hakha gonna have to kill a dog? He does have barracks, so you could play Sheepdog first, but then if you play your trading post, you're just drawing everything dead.
Yes.
Awkward situation here. I mean, you have to specifically draw a fishing village plus a junk card, and then you'd be happy.
Yeah, I think one of them can be retired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Good gold with Animal Fair. Oh, look at that.
Did I say that?
Huh. What just happened? We just want to play on no terminals? Oh. Okay. That was interesting. I said that.
We are nigh indistinguishable, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, you were just saying things like, okay, Donald X is correct here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like, do you have other... that led to speculation on whether you knew more.
Maybe the trouble is
Easy's
understanding of the English language is lacking.
Yeah.
I legitimately don't know words.
Yeah. Yes.
And people aren't defining them for him.
Is it intel or secret that's troubling you?
Yeah.
Oh, stuff was... Oh, damn.
Well,
we're getting deeply philosophical.
We have a little bit of a terminal collision here. We decided to play the trading post.
Okay, so 6 points up now.
I think I like
Target all the dogs played.
I mean, you could still dud here.
Uh, 15.
Province.
Beggar.
I like the beggar.
It is beggar.
Take the beggar. Yeah, you got a million sheepdogs. It's not too late.
Got it.
There we go. All right.
That's the true champion. He sees the beggar line.
Okay, so Hakha could win this. I mean, Neqativ with a good draw definitely wins there easily with double province. But you know, these decks aren't the most reliable of all time, and I think Neqativ is a little bit over-terminaled. Okay.
So we play the trading post here, right?
Pretty sure you do. I think he's just deliberating whether to trash the estate or not. I mean, you could even do trash estate province and just, you know, go for broke trying to hit 16. I don't know how likely that is or not.
Yeah, I mean, I would count the sheepdogs in my 3 cards first before I did that.
Yeah, exactly. I won't count the sheepdogs, but I'm sure Hakha at the moment is trying to figure out how many sheepdogs are down there.
Yeah.
Like if I knew that there was 2 or more sheepdogs down there, I would seriously consider trashing province estate. We split the difference. We do trash the estate, but not the province. The safer line. 11. It's a little bit of an awkward number.
Yeah. So province estate loses against province duchy. So
yeah, I think I like
you're betting
double duchy.
on
Like nothing's gonna save you from double province, which is kind of looking likely at this point. But this made it the hardest possible. Alrighty. So the final score was 3-3, but Hakha is gonna win on the tie breaks.
Well, on winning more games in the season.
Yep.
It's the tiebreak.
Yeah. Maybe tiebreak wasn't the word. Hakha was in the lead and remains in the lead by a singular win. So congratulations to hakha3 for being the new league champion.
Yeah, and also congratulations to the runner-up, Neqativ.
Yes.
Well done.
As I say, second is best. So really, who's the winner here?
We were the winners. We got to witness those kingdoms being played.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the match. Toodaloo.